Okay, the sound. I don't know what happened. Actually, I do now know what happened to the computer. Windows 10 updated, and so did Realtek, which is the system that is for the microphones and the movie maker, etc. So I'm in the process now. I'm on the old computer and trying to get the other one reset to before that update. So anyway, that's kind of what happened. It happened on the first video, but the second class was fine, so I left it alone. I really don't know what went on. So anyway, here we are. What I'm going to do is a recap of Jerusalem Ridge, and then move forward to get us up current. Okay, so on Jerusalem Ridge, let me play through it one time first. I don't need to go into the Tony Rice story, etc. I'm just going to play through it so you have something there, and then we'll look at the things that we were going to update on. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. So some of the things we talked about was taking the first part now and try to work it out an octave higher. You shouldn't really have any trouble there. You just do it exactly the same. Now instead of the 4-3 pull off, you can try a choke in there if you're, I did it last night. Now, you have to force that in with a downswing. Normally it would be an up. But they never sound right with an up choke. So I'm gonna get real quick and get it down. And I'm also using 3 fingers to push that string up, because one finger will either slip off or it's very hard to make the pull. All right, then I talked on the second part how using the finger positions that I've got marked there, you're really holding an A minor. So every time when you hit the 3rd string, you can hit the 2nd string along with it on those quarter notes. Instead of the slide at the end of the measure, you can punch out an E7 chord. And it really fills it out. It's going to the E note, which it needs to, but it also fills the harmonic void, because not just hitting a single note, now you're getting the whole chord in there, and everybody can hear that it's changed chord. You can also come back to the bridge and get a nice growl. if you can get there. Now going on to measure 13, it's the same thing. I'm going to hold my A minor down. Alright, and then we're going back. Right, now the second time through is what we also talked about. The easiest way to get through this passage on time is going to be to hit 2 strums. In the last measure before the repeat, 1 strum, and then 1 strum for the rest that follows, and then the hammer-on pull-off. Measure 13, second time through. Strum, strum. We were going to leave this part alone. Talked about on the 4th part is to add 1 more 8th note in measure 29. So it ends up that you're stair-stepping up the strings. Right down, and keeping the 8th notes flowing right down to the 5th string open. So I'm going to hit the 9, 8, 9, 8, 10, 9, and then the open 5th. Okay, so now you have Then we talked about working on the sweep. And the sweep for an E, let's start there, is starting on the 5th string 7, which would be your E note, your root of the chord, and it's really playing this chord. And remember, Dan asked if you would use just this 1 finger to go across, and yes, because you won't have time. Well, you're going to need everything. So you'll need your stretches, you'll need everything else. So just lay the 1 finger down, and what happens is you're going to go from 7 to 12 as a hammer-on. And then continue your downward swing up, going up the notes of the chord to the 1st string 7 and come up on the 12. Okay? Oh no, you're not going to 12, you're going to go to 11. Sorry about that. Practice that. I showed you a couple different ways that I would put it in something, but right now I don't know that we need to do that. We just need to get the sweep down. Now at the same time, if you want to reverse the sweep, or you go high and then come back, you'll pretty much do the opposite, except you will hit the last note. Okay, this will be a pull off from the 12 back to the 7 though on the 1st string. And coming back, it's starting with your upswing, pull off, up, 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 down. Okay, so all the way to the 12 is your downswing, and all the way right before the 12 is your downswing. From the 12 back is your upswing of the 2 8th notes. Down, up. If I could do it, I would throw it in right there. Okay. So that's going to take care of our Jerusalem Ridge. Let me put it away. Okay, and then we will look at I Am a Pilgrim, and let me get this cleaned up for you. All right, we're starting on an upswing. Remember, we also talked about there is one change that has to be made on the page, and that's on the last line, 2nd measure, where the 5 on the 5th string will be moved to a 4 on the open 4th string. Okay, which is the last set of triplets there. All right, so we're going to start on an up. Let me run it one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and Okay, now before I get into this, we also talked about you trying to work out a simple straight break. Try to find something that's more like what you would sing, and then this break will make more sense with all its little nuances here. All right, so we're starting on the upswing. One, because you can see there's an eighth note rest if you look in the notation. 2, 3, 4, 1, and. Now it has a lot of melodic upswings. Okay, so the first measure. Now here we have it. The first one is really a pickup note slide or a grace note slide into the 4, but you can actually play them as 2 sets of triplets if you wanted to, which would sound even. This is written this way. There's just a slight difference. Okay. Shouldn't have any trouble here. Measure 6, when you hit the last 4 notes in that measure, it's a down on the one in open, up, up, down, okay? Now here we talked about these triplets. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Okay? Doesn't matter what fingers you use, I didn't mark anything there. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm using my little finger to get a clean hammer on there. Sometimes I'll use my third, but it will tend to pull my first finger forward. So if you use your little finger, when you go back for the 1 and the 3, just use your little finger in your first. It's breaking the rules here because I don't like having 2 fingers jammed up in here in 1 fret space. I'm wasting a finger. But I don't need to change it, and I want the sustain to drag me back. Okay? No problem here. Good lordy after all. Okay. Down on the first, pull off, up, hammer on here, okay, and then a down, up, down, down, okay. Remember I was telling you about this computer that I'm on, the screen blanks off, and that's just what happened twice there. Now, also on this one, I mentioned that on the last note of the page, I got to hit it on an upswing, because it's a real fast da 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 da. I don't have any time. It's not like the triplets. For whatever reason, it doesn't play out the same as the triplets on the second line, where I have time to get back. You could do it. You could do it on an upswing on the last one, but for some reason it works out. This one at the end of the page really. I feel that I got to get there on an upswing because I don't want any time gap. Okay? And that'll have your I Am a Pilgrim taken care of. Anyway, sorry about the sound issue, and I'll go ahead and get this thing processed and to you right away. All right, see you in a couple weeks.